Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the War Diary. On the 391st day of the war, here are the main highlights of the day at 7 p.m. Beirut time. We begin with the situation in Lebanon. An Israeli drone targeted a car in the Dahr al-Hawsh Haraya area this morning, resulting in one killed, reportedly Abbas al-Musawi, a member of Hezbollah's security team. Following the incident, security forces closed off the Al-Kahali road in both directions and diverted traffic uphill before reopening the road. Meanwhile, the Israeli army issued evacuation warnings to the residents of several towns in the south and Baalbek and Burdai and Turis. In the south, a drone targeted a motorcycle on the Amarit al-Naoura road. It was reported that a military officer was killed in the attack. Meanwhile, the Israeli army targeted several towns, including Aineta, Bet Yahun, Barashit, Ben Jbel, outskirts of Ma'roub, Shehin, Ter Harfa, and Arzi, where 5 were killed. An attack on the main road of Dardghia Arzoun targeted a civil defense center. A rocket fell near the army intelligence office in Judaidat Marja'youn. The town was subjected to artillery shelling last night, targeting the outskirts. An Israeli raid targeted an ambulance belonging to the Islamic Message in the town of Zifta. Clashes did not stop until morning in the town of Al-Khiyam between Israeli army and Hezbollah fighters as Israel continues its ground invasion into Lebanon. At midnight, warplanes raided the building of the Union of Municipalities in Jbe'a, destroying it. Andrea Tenenti, the spokesperson for UNIFIL, said that the international force was targeted more than 50 times in October by the warring parties in South Litani, 7 of which were intentionally carried out by Israel. In Bekaa, Israeli airstrikes targeted several towns, including El-Hermel, Sahmar in the eastern Bekaa, and Budai. For its part, Hezbollah announced that they have targeted several gatherings of the Israeli army, mainly in the Watar Khiyam area and Khiyam. Hezbollah also claimed that they targeted the Kiryat Shmona settlement twice yesterday evening with a rocket salvo and several Israeli army gatherings in settlements of Liman, Gijr Hazif, and Yaftah. They also shelled north of Haifa with a large rocket salvo. Israeli media reported in the early morning that, and I quote, the 9,204 battalion withdrew from Lebanon after 2 weeks of fighting. On the other hand, the Israeli Army Arabic spokesperson Avichai Adrai indicated that warplanes were able to assassinate Muhammad Khalil Aliyan, the commander of the anti-tank unit in the Hajir region of Hezbollah's Nasr unit in the Burj Qalawiya area during the week. UNICEF's executive director, Catherine Russell, raised the alarm on Thursday about the growing number of casualties among children in the ongoing war between Hezbollah and Israel. She said since October 4 of this year, at least 1 child in Lebanon has been killed and 10 injured daily. In Lebanon, the latest toll from the Ministry of Health stands at 2,822 killed and 12,937 others injured since October 8, 2023. In Gaza, daily bombings and a lack of medical resources worsen the humanitarian crisis with a growing number of civilian casualties. Strikes have caused extensive destruction, including to medical infrastructure, further complicating access to care for the injured. In the West Bank, clashes continue to claim lives. 4 Palestinians were killed during Israeli operations in the Nur Shams refugee camp in Tulkarem. Later in the day, another Palestinian was killed. The human toll in Gaza since the beginning of the war at 7 p.m. Beirut time. The Gaza Ministry of Health reported that 43,204 people have been killed. On the diplomatic front in Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with U.S. Special Representative Amos Hochstein and Middle East Coordinator Brett McGurk today. The meeting is part of American efforts to establish a ceasefire agreement to end the 13 months of fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. During the meeting, Netanyahu emphasized that Israel's priority is not the formality of the ceasefire document, but its ability to enforce this agreement to ensure the safety of its residents and allow them to return home securely. These discussions are part of a series of diplomatic initiatives led by the United States and its allies as the situation in Lebanon continues to deteriorate. The deployment of American envoys, including McGurk, aims to engage the parties in a de-escalation process and reduce the risks of a prolonged conflict. That's it for today's recap. See you tomorrow for another roundup of the situation. Until then, stay connected on our website www.thisisbeirut.com.lb and on our social media platforms.